Hello guys, it's Letty. I try not to do videos that are not angry because I'm not angry. I'm just a little pissed off. And you got people here on YouTube. And one thing about me, I'm never above being what's the word? Being corrected. I don't have an ego like that. But when I feel that it's not um, mm, that serious. It's like a person just trying to make a point or make it seem like, I don't understand something where I don't really feel like it's a big deal. I do have a problem with that because I do have a basic knowledge of language. I understand definitions. But you know what? I look into stuff, I do the research. So, that being said, let me explain what happened. Okay, I commented on it's a recent review of Child's Play. Somebody had did a video, and I commented because this is what I was feeling. I said, I'm just really these remakes are it's too many of them. It just seems to be a bombardment, overwhelmingly. If you look at the movies that's coming out, it's just so many remakes. It's ridiculous. It's just, I really like to see original material. I'm a person that likes creativity. I am creative myself, but I just have a problem with the amount of remakes. Remakes can be good, and then whatever. So someone comments below me, and they say, "Well, Child's Play is a reboot, not a remake." This is like part of the eight parts of speech when you do things that are words that are similar. Um, and I forget the term, but they are. See, I forget the term. So I don't know everything, but I thought they were similar words. Reboot and remake, aren't they in the same family? As far as I know. Cause so I went on and I looked it up. Okay, I looked it up and I looked up the definition. Well, I looked up definition of both of them. Okay, because this person just wanted to correct me because this was totally different. Okay, it's out of the ballpark. I think they're very similar. So the definition of reboot is to restart or revive, and it's just usually related to film or music. That's the definition of reboot. Definition of remake is to make again or differently. They sound very similar to me, which is what I was wondering why this person was so adamant about, that being a reboot, it changes the game. But basically, both of these words are interchangeable in my opinion. Okay, I think they're very similar. Um, I I was around. I very much remember the original Child's Play when it came out. I'm not a big horror fan. I did like it. I wouldn't say it was the best horror movie I've ever seen, but it was okay. But when someone gives their opinion of something and you come and you try to correct, so you got to make sure that you understand what those terms mean because when I say something, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But this, I'm not wrong because reboot and remake are very similar. I understand a reboot. Basically, you are restarting something that's already in existence, which is really what remake is. Those words are very similar, and it's a term. It's a term in English that describes words that are similar. I just cannot think of them right now. I can't think of the word. I'll have the word for the next video. So I thought I would list a few um, movies and a song that sometimes is better the second time around. It depends because I give everything gets the benefit of the doubt because there's some wonderful remakes. One good example of a wonderful remake is A Star Is Born. That movie actually has been remade 4 times. Okay. Sometimes it's the person is a singer. I think in some movies the person is an actor. So they have changed it around, but the basic foundation is the same, which is why I'm wondering why this person was so technical about saying it's a reboot. A reboot is still a remake. It's still a movie that existed before. It's not original material. That really, that's where my issue was. I'm like, but they're so similar, these words. I mean, so I went on and looked it up just to be sure. But I hate that when somebody wants to be so technical or they want to be so anxious to correct somebody. Make sure that what you're saying is, holds weight, because that's not, no, those words are similar. Okay. But I wanted to verify because, hey, I'm not above correction. But make sure that when you're correcting me, that you have the right information yourself, okay? So, because everybody want to be the smartest thing on the block, and you know, I have been to college. Okay, I do have a college degree, so I'm not a stranger to education. But these two words are similar. Okay, so um, there was a brilliant movie that came out in the, I believe, oof, it's an old movie. I don't know if you guys real diehard movie buffs would probably have heard of it. Um, it's called The Out of Towners. Okay, I'm not talking about the one with Steve Martin and Goldie Hawn. I'm talking about the original. The original came out, oh my God, I want to say 1969, 1970. It starred Sandy Dennis and Jack Lemmon. Brilliant, brilliant actor. Brilliant actor. I believe he's won an Oscar. Um, I've seen the remake of The Out of Towners, and I've seen the original. And as much as I respect Goldie Hawn and Steve Martin, they are legends in their own right, and I love their work. But that remake doesn't even come close to the one with Jack Lemmon. I recommend that you all see that. By the way, that movie is brilliant. His comedic timing. See, back in the day with shows like The Golden Girls and oh man, it's a lot of comedies. That comedic timing. It was quick, and it was at the time that it should have. The delivery was the way it should, and the joke landed, and that's what I love the most about Out of Towners. I mean, he was just unraveling. You could see it, you could feel it, just going through this experience and just frustration and all these emotions, and he's exhibiting all these emotions at the same time, and it just makes for a brilliant movie. But you know, that remake to me didn't work. Now, a remake that did work, in my opinion, was The Nutty Professor. The one Eddie Murphy remade a movie called The Nutty Professor. I think it came out in the 90s. Not sure about the date, but it was very funny. It was brilliant. Eddie Murphy's a brilliant person. It was based on a movie of the same name with it starred Jerry Lewis. It was some differences, but basically the basic same. Is a remake or a reboot or both. Okay, for this person that wants to correct me. So it you know sometimes remakes work and sometimes they don't. I think a remake is best when there's a change involved. Somebody adds something new to the mix. They don't just kind of just go and remake the thing and not add any new elements to it. Nothing. There needs to be something unique about it. Even though it's a remake, that doesn't mean you just remake the same original material. That means you add something to it, because sometimes remakes work and sometimes they don't. Another example is Aladdin. Aladdin, this new one I saw was based on with Will Smith and I don't know anybody else in there. Sorry, Will Smith, and then you got it's based on a cartoon, of course. But as much as I love Will Smith, and I think Will Smith is a brilliant actor. I mean, this is no slight against these actors, but did this movie really need to be done? I just don't think they add anything to it. And I know the actors did the best they could with the material, but I just don't think I think they didn't add any new elements. It was just like, okay. And then it just gets to the point where you're like, oh gosh, does anybody have anything new to add to cinema? It just seems so stale, and it's just I'm a movie buff. I'm a diehard movie buff. I can go back to the 30s and pick up. I have movies. I have movies in my possession that go date back to the 30s. I love movies. I'm a movie head. Okay, so I just another example to me is Total Recall. I can't even tell you the actor's name because I tried. I tried. Total Recall is one of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Now, Terminator is my first favorite, but it's a close second for Total Recall, the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think it came out in, I want to say 90. I think it came out in 1990. I just don't think anybody could. Arnold was so perfect in that. He played a, a vulnerable, strong, misled, trusting person. It was so many levels of acting ability. It's like not superheroes, but action heroes don't get enough credit for acting ability. He acted. He showed a dimension. He showed range in that movie, even though the movie's blowing stuff up. But you saw, this, and then that remake is just it's like stale bread. It's like stale bread. That's my honest opinion. Nothing against the actors. Like I'm saying, I'm not bashing the actors because this is just a material that they've been presented. A movie that I think is brilliant, that has a fresh perspective that I just have not seen in recent years, that I think is very original, is the movie Us. It's an original concept. It's like somebody has something new to say. He made a lot of it's a little bit hard to follow some things. I'm like, okay, I'm trying, but it makes a point. It makes a point. It says something original. I'm hungry for original material from the cinema, from movie people, movie makers. It's like, please, can we have something original? Can we have an original material? Can we have something that has not been redone? You have all these remakes coming out, and it's like barfing them up. I mean, are you guys spending a lot of time with plot development, character development? Charlie's Angels, The Lion King is coming out. One of the remakes that worked, one of the reboots, reboot. Okay, I think I'm starting to see, because Batman has been a reboot and a remake. Batman, of course, is based on the DC comic, but then it led to a 1960s television, animated show. No, it wasn't animated. That was the beginning. It was a live action show. Then that led to a movie. I think the first Batman movie was the one in the 80s with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson, which was brilliant. And honestly, that was the only one from that first group of movies, Batman movies, that I liked. I really didn't care for Batman Returns or Batman Forever, and I really didn't like Batman and Robin. I was like, oof. But then you had the reboot / remake. Okay, you can say them both. Okay, interchangeable. So you have the reboot of the Batman story, and it's I forget the director. Batman Begins. I forget the director. Um, Christian. I know that the stars Christian. Oh my God, I can't remember anything. Liam Nielsen's in there. Um, really disappointed with him, as I said in my previous video, but brilliant actor. Not taking no credit, not taking nothing away from him. His acting ability, he was great. And then you had Dark Knight, and I think it's been three of those. I don't think Dark Knight was the first one, second one. I forget, but it's been three. See, it's just been so much. I just can't remember. But that was a successful, that was successful. I actually liked the last Batman movies more than all those other ones, except for the Batman, the one with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. Another remake of this is a song that was super successful, super wonderful. I mean, with Miss Whitney Houston, "I Will Always Love You" is a remake of Dolly Parton's song, the same name. Dolly wrote the song, and she recorded the song, but it didn't. It had its own success, but it never reached the pinnacle of success that Whitney's song had. But nevertheless, it's a beautiful song. I like Dolly's version, but just Whitney took it to another level. And that's all I'm saying. When you do a remake of a movie, add something new to it, because it's basically the same story. We have to be made to want to see this because we've seen it before. So add something that is different, that makes us want to see it. It's just when you constantly rehashing. And I'm gonna tell you something. Those Charlie Angels, the preview, I saw the previews, and they're just not. They're not exciting. They're not exciting. I didn't really the Charlie Angel show. I was very young. I was around, but I was very young when that was on, so I wouldn't have really. I have a vague memory of the TV show, Charlie's Angels. I did see the one with Drew Barrymore and Cameron Diaz and Lucy Liu. I enjoyed the first one. The second one, I was like, I think it had Demi Moore in there. I just wasn't. That first one, I think, because you had a lot of charisma. You had those three actors have a lot of charisma. And then you have Bill Murray, which I absolutely love. This is a brilliant comedic actor. And that brings me to another point. One of the most original movies that I've ever seen that really doesn't seem to be drawn from anywhere else, but just it was so creative. Now, I don't think it's a remake. I think this is an original screenplay. It's a Bill Murray movie. It's called Groundhog Day. That is so original, so unique, so different. And those are the types of movies that I like to see. I just wish Hollywood would make more movies. Stop doing all these remakes. I mean, please. It's just too much. It's too much. And Spider-Man's another remake, reboot, based on I think there was an animated show back in the day, and I think that show was animated. Spider-Man, of course, these are comic books, and then they had the ones with the movies with Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. I think they did three of those with him. And then the new actor, I just forget his name, Tom something, but I think they've done two new ones, or is this two or three? Oh my God, I can't remember. I don't know if it's two or three. I don't know if they're on the third one or the fourth one. On the second one or the third. No, it's not the second one, but the third. This is the third one, Far From Home. So they did. This is the reboot of that first set of Spider-Man movies. So it's just, but if it works, it works. If it's not working, in Terminator, oh my God, I don't know how many more times they're gonna just. It's like being on. It's like something that is trying to die, and you just keep trying to revive it, and it just wants to die. Like it's just, I, I just really, honestly, the first two Terminators were great. The third one was maybe somewhat watchable, but some things just need to be. Then I hear they doing another Rambo, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know if I want to see it. Now they did something different with Rocky. Now Rocky, they did the same thing. They kept, okay, no more Rockies. I love Rocky, but oh my goodness, they did something different. They got two Creed movies out, so they introduced a new character, and he's part of the Rocky franchise. Now that would be something different for some of these movies that they want to reboot or whatever, remake, because we are familiar with Rocky, and introduce this another character, and this character takes the center stage, and maybe do something like that. At least that's original. At least that's something different. That's all I'm saying. It's the same it's part of the franchise that we are familiar with. Everybody's familiar with Rocky, but do something different. Like they explored this character, and he's going through a lot. He's dealing with a very tough situation. His dad is a famous boxer, and he didn't really didn't know him. He didn't want to acknowledge him, and he's just this child that feels abandoned, and he's lost his mother, and now he's in the spotlight, and he's under the he's got to deal with being under his dad's shadow, and it's some things going on. It's something different here. Rocky's still there, but you got some things going on. That's what I mean by just doing something a little bit different, a little original. So anyway, guys, that's my video. I hope you like it. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. If you agree, disagree, whatever, it's fine. But it's just like people are just so technical about every little thing. Reboot, remake. Aren't they similar? I looked that word up. There's a word that describes words that are similar. I just don't know that word, but I will have that word in the next video. So I'm gonna look it up. But anyway, guys, that's my video for today. I love movies. I tell you, I don't do as many reviews because I don't really see a lot of new movies because I just don't want to. But I did see Spider-Man Far From Home. So I will be doing a spoiler review, actually. So I'm warning you now, it's going to be a spoiler review. So I'm not going to say what I think of it just yet. I'm going to wait till the review video comes out. So anyway, guys, I'm gone. I'm leaving. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.